The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys!
This is Cowboys Storylines with Nick Eatman.
What's up, everyone? It is time for another edition of Cowboys Storyline. It is Wednesday here at the Star in Frisco. Cowboys getting ready for another New York team, the New York Jets. Man, it's gonna be a good one. I think I just broke the podcast studio here. Hope not. Sorry, we don't want to do that. All right. 888-855-2297. You guys kind of know the drill now. I mean, this isn't really a new show anymore. It's just this kind of, you guys know what we're doing, how we're doing it. Got the text line there, 817-290-3298. I promise I will get some text, but I definitely have a preference to the calls because calls are fun. I get to talk with you guys and kind of go back and forth. And so I could get to some storylines. The really, at this point in the morning, we need to see how the guys are going to practice for the injured players like we've been monitoring for the last week and a half now. Tyler Smith, Jordan Lewis, Donovan Wilson, those guys right there. I think that they're going to have a chance to practice this week or Wednesday, starting Wednesday, maybe Thursday. But if you can get a couple of practices in and you keep progressing, I think they have a chance to play in the game. And then the Cowboys have some decisions to make on what happens with the roster. We can talk about that. We talked about some yesterday. We can talk about that. I want to hear from you guys. So we're going to start this thing off like we have been starting it off here lately. Joe from Stanford, you're kind of the number one guy. You're the first one. You're like leadoff batter here almost every week, every day.
Well, I'm sure excited about being able to talk to you every day, Nick. I'm really enjoying this, man.
Yeah, this is fun. When you played, did you play baseball? Were you like the leadoff batter? I mean, are you like the first guy there?
Believe it or not, I never got to play baseball when I was a kid. I always wished I would have. I was just a football guy myself.
Yeah, I didn't really play baseball myself. Anyways, All right, Joe, what's up?
Well, a couple things. First, looks like Lyle Collins is available. I've been tracking the discussion on that. A lot of people think we should kick the tires. I'm of the opinion that we probably should just leave him be. I think we saw that something was going on with him, and that's why he left. And if the Bengals, who couldn't block a soul this last week, let him go, then I think we pretty much know the answer to that question.
Yeah.
The other thing is I'm seeing where the NFLPA executive president or whoever is talking about the turf thing. So I don't know enough about the turf that these guys play on. You know, they're saying now that they think everybody should play on grass, which I don't think is a bad idea. I understand the cost and all that stuff. But you see these turf fields every week. What do you think?
Well, thanks for the call, Joe. I mean, I can say that I see the turf fields. I don't think I've been tackled on them. I don't think, and so that's a part of it as well. I mean, it's also it's one thing on just the contact and how much give that the turf has and grass has, and I know that there's been studies on them. I haven't seen them. It feels like there are more injuries like that to the players on turf, but I don't know, honestly. I can't tell you the reason on why certain injuries happen the way they do. I've seen guys for the Cowboys have an Achilles injury at Oxnard in grass, just stretching. So there's no rhyme or reason to it as far as I've seen. Now, if the NFLPA is getting involved and they have the studies, yeah, I mean, that they would know more than me. And then as for grass, I mean, on all stadiums, I mean, that's not easy. I mean, I think Arizona does it with grass on an indoor stadium, and they kind of like wheel in a tray. But, yeah, it wouldn't be the easiest thing in the world. And, again, I'd be lying if I said that I know the answer to that and one thing or another. First part of the question kind of I think you answered it yourself with Lyle. I mean, I don't think that's kind of the route that they're going to go right now. I don't think they're going to get a veteran in here at this point. I think that they like what they've seen so far, and as long as Tyron keeps playing the way he is right now, and health wise, I think he's okay. And then, you have Let's Go. You have Awesome Richards. I think as it stands right now, they're probably going to go with what they've got. All right, let's go to Gordon in Rhode Island. New caller, I think. Gordon in Rhode Island.
Yes, sir. Great show, Nick.
What's up, man?
Doing a fabulous job.
Thank you. I appreciate that. What is going on in Rhode Island world?
We got a little bit of storm coming, but the Patriots lost, so that made it nice and sunny.
I bet. Are you that guy, Gordon? Are you that guy like at work, like when you go in there? I mean, because I'm sure there's a lot of Patriot fans. Because when we go to New England, we stay in Providence, so there's got to be a ton of Patriot fans. You're that guy that walks in there like, "Oh, how's your team do?" Yeah.
Oh, let me tell you a quick story. So I used to be a chef, and I used to work at the Radisson in Milford, Massachusetts. And the Patriots used to stay at that hotel every home game. And I can't stand them guys, man. I hate them.
Okay, good. Okay. I thought you were going to go into some kind of like, poison the food type stuff. Okay, good.
I wish I could have.
No. All right, Gordon, what do you got?
So I want to give a special shout out, man, to Tank Lawrence, and let me tell you why. Michael Parsons, for the last 2 years, has become the face of that defense. Mm-hmm. And it would be very easy for Tank to be salty, be in his feelings, be a distraction. And this dude's buying in, man. I think this team is a little bit different this year. And I'm loving what I'm seeing. And I don't understand some of our Cowboys fans got an issue with the offense. As long as we don't lose, keep on winning.
Yeah. No, I appreciate it. Thanks for the call, Gordon. And you're right.
Thank you.
Yeah, Tank. You're not wrong there. I mean, Tank is a guy that has been the leader of this defense, and in a way, he probably still is. I mean, it's not just about the best guy that runs around and makes all the plays, because Tank. I was really proud of the fact that Tank made the Pro Bowl last year. I think he had 5 sacks, 6 sacks, but it wasn't about that. And that's not the way he plays all the time. And he's a really good run stopper. I like the fact that the voters for the Pro Bowl saw that. They can see that this guy can make plays in different ways. And I have a stat for that later. If we get to that, I want to kind of to talk about the hidden stats. But you're right. Tank's a guy that is buying in, and Micah gets a lot of the credit, and rightfully so. Micah makes a lot of plays. The plays that the other guys are making, if you go look at the tape, Micah's the one that kind of ignites it all. But I think everyone sees it. Everyone's on the same page. And right now, you keep shutting people out, and there's not going to be any problems with anyone. All right, let's look at third. We got a third caller here. We got Eric in Orange County, California. Eric, good morning.
Hey, Nick, how you doing?
Pretty early over there.
Yeah, it's 8 o'clock. So it's a good time. No, I just had a quick question on I know you guys are onto the Jets now, but I had a question from last week's game, and
we can go back. We'll go back. 40-0. We can go back a little bit there. I'm fine revisiting.
Yeah, and I mean, excuse my ignorance, but I was just wondering, like, because you know how when Daniel Jones ran and Micah got him before he passed the line of scrimmage, why wasn't that considered a sack? Because he ran, or that was really my question.
Wait, hold on. Oh, not the interception by Gilmore. You're not talking about that.
No.
You're talking about when the ball I think was on the ground. Oh, that was before the blocked field goal, right? The ball was on the ground. Is that right? Happened?
Yeah, and he started running, and Micah grabbed him and tackled him before he passed the line of scrimmage, but it wasn't considered a sack.
Yeah, that I believe the way they call that, and maybe they've changed the name there, but it's usually called an aborted play when there's a fumble on the ground like that, not considered a pass, because he's never tried to pass. The ball's on the ground, he picks it up and he's running. There's never thought looking down the field to try to throw the football. It's different when the guy has been looking to throw, he's standing there, and then he's like, all right, I got to take off and run, and he gets tripped from behind or whatever, behind the line of scrimmage. That's a sack because he was attempting to pass at some point in the play. But when the ball's on the ground like that, they don't call that a sack. And if there's anyone that would be lobbying for that, it would be Micah Parsons. So I'm sure Micah Parsons would be like, hey, we need to change that rule because Micah Parsons is about getting sacks, and he should be. But I think that's the way that rule went. I thought you were talking about the play where he's running on the sideline, And that, I'll be honest, the press box is pretty far up there. I mean, it's one of the highest press boxes in the league, and you're way away from everything. That's the longest I've ever gone on watching football and realized that there was an interception. I didn't know there was an interception. I was like, what's going on? I thought there was a fight. I was like, what's happening down here? Why is everyone – because I thought Micah was going to get called for hitting Daniel Jones out of bounds. Usually when you do that to the quarterback on their sideline, you get a flag. I thought that was going to be the case. I didn't really realize that he threw it, and I definitely didn't think he had an interception. So I was a little confused on that when Gilmore came up with the ball. But anyways, that was that. Yeah, I had no mind. It's Wednesday. We can revisit games like that. Of course, if the Cowboys lose like that, by Monday afternoon, we're going to be moving on. But no. All right, let's go. Look at a text question here. Let's see if I can get I don't have a name, but I have a 714 area code. On third and short, and fourth and short, do you prefer a heavy package running up the middle or jet sweep to Turpin? I mean, I think the answer has got to be both. I mean, you can't just do it one way all the time. I mean, that you have to mix it up. You can't have tells. I'm sure if you guys play poker, sometimes you play a hand, sometimes you fold it. The exact same hand. It just depends on how it's going, how it's flowing, who the defensive is, what they're playing, what happened the last time on third and short, fourth and short. So I think if you can mix it up, you have to mix up the bag. If Turpin can get to the outside on some plays, and then the next time you put Turpin there, and then Dak runs it up the middle. So you've got to be able to do both. It's hard for me to say what I prefer because I think you have to look at down and distance. You have to look at how the game's going. You have to look at all the factors involved. All I know is the more things you can do on 3rd and 1, 4th and 1. Can it be Pollard? Can it be Turpin on the outside? Can it be Dak? Can you throw it? I don't know if I love that, but can you do it? Can you throw bubble screens? The more you can do that, especially out of a regular offense, the better that this offense, I think, is going to be. All right. Moving right along here, we go to Arlington, Virginia. John is on the line. John in Arlington, Virginia.
Hey, how you doing, Nick? Long-time listener and fan of your articles and stuff like that.
Thank you.
I'm a YouTuber. My name is DMV Fanatic, and I have a question for you. My question is, knowing what the Jets like to do as far as bringing 4 up front and dropping 7, do you have any worries about Dallas's, efficiency on offense?
I think worries is not the right term. Appreciate the call, John. Good luck with your YouTube channel. I don't know if it's worries. I just think that it's the sample size is small. We'll see. Nothing is that we've seen from the Cowboys offense right now is normal. It's not going to be. It's not going to be raining. I can promise you it's not going to be raining 8 times that they play at home, and probably, 3 or 4, a couple more where it won't be raining there. So I'm just saying that right there won't be a factor. And 40-0 or 16-0 early in the game, 23-0. It's not going to be lopsided like that. So it is hard to gauge what we've seen so far. And when do you feel comfortable? It's 23-0. Yeah, you've got your starters out there, but you're not throwing out a whole lot of things that you haven't seen before. So I'm just let me hit the pause button on worrying about anything. But I'm not worried about the offense. The offense did just fine. I don't understand where any of the negative criticism comes from there. They got. Think about this. They got in the red zone. I believe they got in the red zone 4 times. They did not run the ball that first time. The first time they got in there at the 6-yard line, they threw a pass. They threw a pass to Turpin, and then they tried to throw another pass, and it was incomplete, and then they kicked a field goal. I think they should have run the ball. So what happens the next 3 times they get in the red zone? They run the ball. Pollard, touchdown. Pollard to the outside. They run Turpin, touchdown. So they ran the football into the end zone for touchdowns. That's not something we've seen all the time. This team, you take away those 2 touchdowns if you want to. They happen. But if you want to take them away, the Cowboys still win the game, in my opinion, 27-3. That's what it looks like to me. If you take away those plays, give them a field goal if you want. No defensive touchdown. the way the game played out, the Cowboys win 27-3. I don't have a problem with the way the offense moved the ball in the rain and in a game where they obviously things changed there, and he had to be a little bit more conservative in the second half, or really in the last 2.5 quarters. Okay, I don't see another. Oh yeah, I do have another caller here. Had to move up. We got Ken in New Jersey. Ken,
Hey, Nick, what's going on?
what's up with you, man?
Hey, not much. Just dropping in, give my 2 cents here. I think this is another big week for the Cowboys because a lot of confidence going into this game now with Rodgers out. But it's another game where the Cowboys, they need to stay laser focused because I know you're 1-0, you're kind of a big favorite, but the Cowboys need to remember that every game's important in the NFL. And after last year having to play on a Monday night and then turn around and play a team that just played on Saturday and you had to fly, across the entire United States to play that game, you need to realize how important it is to win every game you can because the talk's been, are they as good as the Niners? Are they as good as the Eagles? Can they win the division? The talk needs to be, can they be a 1 seed? Because if this team's going to make a big run this year, these are the type of games you have to win because when it comes down to January, I mean, you see it year in, year out. The higher seed you are, the better chance you have at, making a run in the playoffs. So this is just a game that you need to, stay the course, stay focused, and get another win and carry it on into week 3.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Good luck in New Jersey there, Ken. I mean, you've been going, probably have Giants fans over here, Jets fans over here. You're going to be doing a lot of talking for 2 weeks. And you're right. You can't overlook anybody. And I don't think that's going to be a problem. Here's why. Look at the end of the game the other day, the end of the game against the Giants. The Sam Williams and Dante Fowler and Dorrance Armstrong and all Micah, of course, when he's in there, they want to get sacks. They want to be the leader in sacks. They want to annihilate the quarterback every time. There is no letdown when it's 40-0. There's no letdown at any point in the game. We saw that happen last year. Your defense is the best thing you do, and they are going to attack until it's time to take the jerseys off and swap them with the next guy after the game. That they're not going to stop. And so that is a good thing. It's a good thing for kind of what you're talking about, that mentality. That doesn't ever turn off, and that's the best thing you do. So that's a good thing. I don't think this is going to be any kind of overlooking game. It's the home opener at AT&T Stadium. The crowd's going to be going insane. Aaron Rodgers not going to be there. That really won't matter. I don't think that you'll have to worry about that this week. There are weeks when that does happen, but I think you got to give McCarthy credit there. I think he does a really good job of keeping this team focused all the time. So I think they'll be fine. That's not really an issue for me. We do have a text question here about the Jets. This is Bryson from Salt Lake, Utah. He said Cowboys are 1-4 since 2007 versus the Jets. What about this team? And this week makes you believe Cowboys will show up and take care of business this weekend with the injury of Rodgers. Really what I just said. I mean, that's part of it. I should have read this before because I do think that the way that they approach the game is going to be fun. 1-4 since 2007 against the Jets, that means nothing to me. Just because, I mean, history matters at times if everything's still the same. But since 2007, you probably have. The Jets probably have a different quarterback in every one of those games. Cowboys probably have different quarterbacks in most of those games, different head coaches. That really doesn't matter to me right now. I just think what matters is Zach Wilson's going to have to figure out how to stop this Cowboys defense and figure out ways to get the ball. And the Cowboys are going to have their hands full with the Jets defensive line as well. All right. Brian in Pennsylvania has been waiting a little bit. Thanks, Brian, for hanging in there with us. What's up?
Hey, Nick. How you doing, man? Love the show.
Thanks, man. How are you?
I'm doing well because I saw a great game last weekend.
You went to the game? Did you go?
No, I had to watch it. I'm up here in Pennsylvania.
Got it.
I only get to see the Philly games up close,
Yeah, well, good luck with that. I mean, that's probably not easy to be wearing the colors in there, but I applaud you for doing it. So
I have camouflage because I'm from Oklahoma, OU, Jalen Hurts. It helps me fly under the radar. But anyways, Michael Parsons is obviously the leader on defense, and the way he approaches the game has elevated the entire defense. on offense, with all the concerns, do you think that Brandon Cooks was that missing piece coming in, like all the things he does, the safety blanket that he's become for Dak, and like the way he kind of elevates all these people, along with the Texas Coast offense? Do you think he is the missing ingredient that Dak needs to actually start having an effective offense consistently?
Yeah, I think that's a good point, good question. Thanks, Brian, for calling in. Brandon Cooks on offense. Yeah, Cooks and Gilmore have been linked together since, because they basically got here almost the same time. They played together. They're the same, both first-round picks. They played different teams and all that kind of journeyman, if you will. But they still have something left. And they've come in and they've not tried to assert themselves as the leader, but just a leader. And I think that's really, really important because this team has established superstars, but people look up to Gilmore. They look up to Cooks. So your point about Cooks being a missing piece on offense, I think for multiple reasons, yes. In the locker room, what he's done kind of with Jalen Tolbert, with Gallup, even with CD, all those guys, like they respect his game, but he's come in here to just be a part of things. Now, on the field, he's very unique because he's a speed player. He can stretch the field. He's also a possession guy. When you have a combination of both of that, that's really, really important. That's really valuable. So I think that he is. It's one game. But can he be that missing piece? He looks to be that guy as it stands right now. He definitely looks to be that guy. All right, we're going to let's go back to the phone line here before we take a break. David in Fort Worth. David, what's up?
How you doing, sir?
I'm great, man. How are you?
I'm doing great. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, I just wanted to kind of give a shout out to your article and also let you know that it really kind of pumped me up for this game. Your big picture, the 10 storylines for the games coming up. You do 5 for the Jets, 5 for the Cowboys. And I was reading it, and then I thought you made a lot of good points, and I think that as I was reading it, I was thinking about the teams. I'm thinking about how both defenses are pretty stellar. I think that the Jets are going to really lean on the run game. They have a two-headed monster back there. I think Cook still has a lot in the tank. And kind of try to make sure that Wilson doesn't have to do too much. But I think you made a good point. I mean, he was a high draft pick. Maybe he learned some stuff under Rodgers. Maybe he's going to do better this season or something, So, I'm pretty excited to watch it. And I kind of just wanted to shout out your article, man, and encourage anybody else to go out and take a read at that and all the other ones that are on the site.
Thank you.
So,
I appreciate that. That's the big picture is one. It's actually something new we're doing this year. It kicks off what we call the 10 spot, where every day there is a collection of 10, a list of 10. It starts out with 10 storylines. Today we have 10 X factors in the game. We have memorable moments, 10 memorable moments between Cowboys and Jets this week. 10 big facts, game breakers on game day, all that kind of stuff. But it just goes down the list, the top 10. Everyone loves lists, and so thanks for reading that. And I hope all the points were good. 3 of those points I wrote on my phone at my son's basketball practice last night. So hopefully those were good as well, as I keep an eye on both. All right, I lost my train of thought on the question there, actually. But no, about the storylines. Oh, about Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson, sometimes you get humbled. I mean, it happens to all players, happens to all people. You think one way, I'm the number 2 pick of the draft, all this stuff, and then it didn't work out. And not only do you get benched for Mike White, but you also then in the next year they're like, all right, we're going to go get Aaron Rodgers, and everyone's all excited about it. And what it looked like from I saw in Hard Knocks and all that, you can't ever tell everything, but it looked like he kind of embraced the role. I'm sure he learned a lot, and he still will. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is still going to be there, so he's going to learn a lot there. And sometimes just getting humbled, you can kind of step back a little bit. Maybe that happens with Trey Lance, who was picked right after him as well. Maybe that sort of happens for him, just kind of getting a change of scenery and a kind of change in the expectations can kind of reset things a little bit for you. All right, we're going to go to break here. When we come back, we got more calls on the line, more texts. We'll be right back. Cowboys Storyline.
Fall is here, and that means football is back, bringing all the delicious game day foods with it. As you prep for all the big games, tailgates, and watch parties, let Yo Quiero be your one-stop destination for all things home gating. Yo Quiero's fresh, flavorful, ready-to-serve guacamole, made with real Hass avocados, will score taste bud touchdowns as you cheer on the Cowboys. Yo Quiero's wide range of mouthwatering and versatile products can be found in your local grocery store's produce or deli section. Grab some today.
Star Sports Tours is the only official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, offering exclusive game weekend travel packages with pre-game sideline access and photo ops with current players, cheerleaders, and Cowboy legends. You want to stay at a team hotel, attend the best tailgate party in Texas, tour the Star, and talk X's and O's with me, Everson Walls? With Star Sports Tours, you can. Visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today.
SeatGeek has your back no matter what kind of Cowboys fan you are. So whether you're a diehard fan or a don't really care fan, a we got 'em next time fan or we'll never win again fan, a here for the tailgate fan or a first one through the gates fan, SeatGeek not only makes buying and selling tickets easier than ever before, they made just about everything else easier too. So whether you're a here every week fan or haven't been here in years fan, SeatGeek has you covered. Download the SeatGeek app today. SeatGeek, your ticket to great Dallas Cowboys seats.
How's Wingstop sound? Crispy, juicy, classic wings. Made to order, cooked to perfection. And sauced and tossed in those 11 soul-satisfying flavors. Paired with hand-cut seasoned fries, house-made honey mustard, blue cheese, or signature Wingstop ranch. And of course, spicy Cajun fried corn. I think you've heard enough. Get your flavor delivered at wingstop.com.
Back to Cowboys Storylines.
Welcome back, second half of Cowboys Storyline. We got a few more minutes here. We got some callers on the line. We got some good text questions in here. We're going to try to hit as much as we can here on this Wednesday. Chris in Indy is on the line now. Chris, what is up?
What's up, Nick? Joe can bat lead off. I'll bat clean up.
Oh, okay.
Hey,
got the big stick. Well, actually, I mean, if we're going to be honest here, I mean, you're eighth, okay? The eighth on the line. Now, I'm sure you were probably calling.
Of the lineup. I'm used to it. My family, so I'm used to it. So
hey,
I wanted to boost up my ego a little bit, Nick. You know how that is when you got a family and kids and all that.
Yeah.
That's at the bottom.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Of course. Yeah.
I was wondering. I was listening to Brad Sham's show Monday night with Van Der Esch, and he was talking about DQ with like 3 or 4 minutes left in the game, came down from up in the booth and came down to the sidelines. He said he was more passionate there on the sidelines than he was being up in the booth calling the plays. I've never seen a coach like up in the booth. You know, I know the game's over, you know, but it's just awesome. This team is just going to be special.
Yeah.
I mean, you can just tell play, how they get along, and just makes me happy, man. I'm 49 years old. You know, it's been a while.
Yeah. I'm right there with you, Chris. I appreciate that, and every player on defense that we've talked to in the last 2 years or so, they love Dan Quinn. I mean, we're 3 years, I guess. They love him. They just love this guy and everything that he is, because he is a player's coach. So you know what? It's not just about the final 3 minutes in the game. You got to remember when coaches. I mean, they pour everything out every single week. But it's like Wednesday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday, Thursday night. They're doing everything they can to get this win. So he probably couldn't wait to get down there, get his hands on those guys, and just congratulate them. I mean, a shutout in the week one, and to do it the way they did it. I mean, I'm looking. I gotta look at this when it comes to pressures, but I counted this up. The Cowboys have 33 pressures in the game the other night. Daniel Jones threw 30 passes. Now, he also was sacked 7 times. So probably what they're doing is you get more than one pressure on one play, because there was some meeting at the quarterback going on here. But 33 pressures, and you threw the ball 37 times? That's a lot. That's a lot. I mean, Micah Parsons was 6, but, I mean, here's my favorite stat line. Dante Fowler, okay, 0 tackles, 0 sacks. Didn't do much, huh? Yeah, 4 quarterback pressures, 2 pass deflections at the line of scrimmage. Dante Fowler. I mean, that right there. It just signalizes how tough that it's going to be to play this team, because they're going to come at you from the start to the finish with every guy that they've got is going to make a difference. I think that's really, really good to have. All right. We have, a lot of text line questions here. Let's go with Steve Williams in Charlotte, North Carolina. He says, do you remember the player that played for us you called the diaper years ago? Yeah, Romo. I'm trying to look around and see in this awesome studio if we have a picture of him. We don't in this one, but Tony Romo, yeah, he was the guy. It was in 2015. That was the year I was like, oh, he's the diaper. It was also the year my son was born, so I was kind of thinking like that a little bit more. But the diaper covers up the crap that you don't want to see, that you don't want to smell. Yeah, you think everything's good because the diaper's on, and that's Tony Romo. But take the diaper away and see how crappy and smelly it really looks. That's what we found out in 2015. So Tony Romo has always been the diaper, in my opinion, from that. All right. How about from 325 number? He said, if we toast other defenses, the offensive scheme should be called Texas Toast. Your show needs to be an hour long. Well, it was supposed to be 30 minutes. We pushed it to 45. So, yeah, I mean, I'll take as much time as I can. It all comes down if you guys call and send these text messages. Yeah, I can go all day long. But we don't have a lot of time slots here because we do have so many shows here. But, yeah, I love doing that. Texas Toast, yeah, I think of Jasmine Marshall in the back there. That's her favorite thing as well, a Texas Toast. My daughter loves to eat Texas Toast too. So, yeah, that's pretty awesome. But, yeah, if you keep doing that, you can call offense whatever you want. Bo in Memphis, Tennessee, are we concerned with the offense? No. Pressure in Dak's face, not a ton of separation from receivers. He also was inaccurate at times. Do we blame this on the weather, or is there a cause from concern? I'm not concerned about that. I really don't. The weather was a factor. There's no doubt about it. They still scored 27 points. They moved the ball. They ran the ball at times. I'm not as worried right now. Let's make this a trend. And let's see what happens. Like I said before, that game was really nothing. I mean, that game was not normal for what things are going to be this season. So let's wait and see on any of that and be concerned. But from what I saw, I mean, I thought it was some really good things on offense. Let's go back to the callers here. Al in Merkel, Texas. Al, what's up?
Hey, how you doing, Nick?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing great. This is an awesome day. You just read my text, I believe, before I got on the call.
Oh, which one? Oh, which one was yours?
Texas Toast.
Oh, that's you. Okay, perfect. Yeah.
All right. I really don't have a question. I'm just going to make a couple of comments.
Go for it.
First of all, this show is awesome. Your knowledge about the Cowboys is so great. Not trying to blow smoke, but you really are knowledgeable, and I love the show, and you really can tell how much you enjoy it because you're lit up. Your face is like you're so excited.
Yeah,
and the
you're
second thing is, I don't know if you're familiar. You probably are, but you remember Preston Pearson back in the day that Roger Staubach would go to all the time?
Yeah, 26. Yeah, Preston Pearson for sure.
Who do you think would be that fill that position today for Dak? And one more comment, I'll get off here so I'll let other people get on there, but this show needs to be an hour. 30 minutes is not long enough for this show. It really needs to be an hour and a half because it's such a great show, and it's just going to keep on growing.
Yeah.
And congratulations, Nick. I really enjoyed listening to you, and thank you for taking my call.
Thanks, guys. I thank you. I appreciate that. I said the guys, but I mean, I've had a lot of people say that, and it means a lot. It really does. Like I've said before, this is y'all's show. I just want to drive the bus with you guys. 30 minutes is that's not long enough, but there will be some days where that might have to happen just because of the way McCarthy's schedule is, and it changes some with his press conference. But we're gonna try to go 45 minutes, and most shows are 45 minutes. We don't really have any hour shows for the podcast. So I could go all day long with it, and I'm having fun. This is really, really, this is just the most enjoyable part of the day. I love doing it. So all right, Preston Pearson, basically what you're saying, a running back that can do a little bit of everything, can catch the ball out of the backfield and be that guy. I don't know if they've had players like that in the past. Just just versatile running backs, that don't have to be the number one guy because you have a Dorsett, whatever. Ron Springs was that guy just a little bit after him. That's just kind of the way Landry used him. But versatile backs that can come in and do things are always important. I think Deuce Vaughn will actually get into that role because I think when he plays more, you'll see some passes out of the backfield with him. All right. I think we're free on the line right now. We have some questions, though. Cicero Upchurch from Richmond, Virginia. He said, thanks for talking me off the ledge in the 49er playoff game. The defense did a great job. Offense was not good. I felt the same after the Giants game because of your comments. Now I look at the offense in a different way. You're the best. Thank you. I appreciate that. Not the best, but thank you so much. It's not about talking people off the ledge. It's just looking at it in a different way and look. And the thing about that, it's important because everyone likes to look at the good when there is some bad, but sometimes you have to look at it both ways. You have to look at it like we talked about the other day, all those plays that happened, and you're like, man, if the Cowboys would have won this game or gone to the Super Bowl, if this play or this play or this play, and that's true probably. But there's also 4 or 5 plays that happen in games that they did win that you're like, don't even think about that. You just gloss over it. So you have to if you look at it both ways like that, I think it's a lot easier to do that. All right, Jonathan in Virginia, number 10 on the list.
What's going on, Nick?
Hey, Jonathan.
I wanted to say congratulations on the show. The Cowboys definitely needed a show like this to get our frustrations out. Living in Virginia, I felt like sometimes I didn't have an outlet, so thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
And my one little blast from the past moment I wanted to say really quick was, do you remember when we had 2 Roy Williams on the roster?
Oh, yeah.
Am I mistaken with his name? Not Roy, but I think we had a receiver and a safety. I think that's kind of interesting.
Oh yeah, and the fact and you're not from here, but the fact that one of them's from Oklahoma, one of them's from Texas. That's one of the biggest rivalries that there is in sports. And yeah, them playing together at the same time, one receiver, one safety. Yeah, definitely remember both of them.
One thing I wanted to ask you about what your take is on the Jets' upcoming game is, do you think that our defense can actually make it to where we are forcing Wilson to beat us? And also, do you think we could also get potentially exposed with the backfield of Breece Hall and Dalvin Cook? I wanted to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, I think. Thanks for the call, Jonathan. I think that the way that the game plays out is going to kind of will factor into that. If the Jets get off to a good start, that's going to be good for them for a couple of reasons. Number one, it will allow them to play their offense and continue to run the football, and they have 2 guys that can do it, and 2 guys that can not only do it but catch out of the backfield. It'll also get Zach, Wilson. It'll get him some confidence brewing, which I think he needs. I mean, I'm sure that he's feeling good right now after the game, but against this defense, I think that's going to be really important for both sides of the ball to see who kind of can strike first, because I think the Jets can play the way they want to play. The last thing any quarterback wants is to be standing there having to throw a lot and let this pass rush just go at them. So how the game goes down will probably be the most important part of that. Those 2 runners are their quality, though, and there's no doubt about it. That's a great duo of running backs in this league. So be fun to watch there. Sebastian is the next caller. Sebastian from Savannah, Georgia. What's up? That's the home of Patrick Walker.
Oh, yeah. How you doing, Mr. Eamon?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm loving this show. I mean, you've grown so much even since just training camp. You guys and Derek, you guys put together some of the best games. I'm loving all the shows. I called because I'm just taking this season one game at a time. This is the first time in a long time that I've been very excited to see a season, because of a small issue that I had with keeping Kellen Moore as a play caller was I always felt like Dak needed more time to develop, and he needed some experience over him. So I'm loving that we began the Michael McCarthy era this past game for the first time. You got to see Dak run to the sideline, talk to an experienced veteran coach, and be like, hey, what should I do next, or whatever the case is. But I really wanted to exercise the ghost of playoff pass, man. I wanted to play Aaron Rodgers so bad.
Yeah.
Well, outside of that, I have one question.
Yeah.
If all goes well, if all else goes well, obviously we're going to have a decent record. We've always had a decent record on Mike McCarthy. What would you do if we actually got into that NFC Championship game that we've been waiting for? I'm not even going to go past that.
Sebastian. You just said no. You called, the first thing you said was, I'm loving this. I'm taking it one game at a time. And now you're in the NFC Championship game.
I'm just saying, we make it past the second round, and we finally get over the hurdle. Because every year we've got over a smaller and smaller hurdle. If we finally get over the hurdle, what would you personally?
All right.
I ain't taking it today, but you personally, because you always say, I just want to see an NFC Championship.
Right.
What would you do?
Oh.
And I haven't listened.
God, man, I love it. Thanks for the call, man, because that's what I do too. Like as a fan, I do the same thing for my Arkansas Razorbacks. Say I'm not gonna get upset, I'm not gonna get mad. It doesn't matter. This game doesn't matter. And I find myself, I've already broke the remote control in the first minute of the game or whatever. I do that all the time. I try to not, just calm down, whatever. Just like you did. Sebastian was like, I'm just one game at a time. We're gonna be good. All that. And a championship game. 37 seconds later, I love it. That's you can't help it because the excitement is there and it should be there. I think, smell the roses, have fun. This is a trip from one coast to the other, okay? You're on a drive, you're started in California or whatever, and you're going, how about, let's change it. You started in the East Coast, and you're driving all the way to Vegas. That's where you want to end up. But along the way, enjoy it. Enjoy the states. Enjoy the scenery. Enjoy all that because this is great. This is a great experience. What would happen if they make it to the championship game? I don't know because I've never been there. But it's going to be epic for sure. All right, Mark in Florida. What's up, Mark?
Hey, Nick. I don't want to date myself, but I go back to our offensive line of Dave Manders, Blaine Nye, John Nyland, Ralph Neely, Tony Licio. So I don't want to scare you, but I go back a ways with this team.
Yeah, you're taking it back to the old school right there. That's all right. That's okay.
This week, obviously, a heavy dose of the run. I think the most important players, obviously they're all important, but the most important players this coming Sunday are going to be our linebackers, filling those holes and stopping this run.
Sure.
Because I don't think they're going to put the game in this kid's hands. I think they're going to go with what works for them, and I think it's going to be about Van Der Esch and
Damone Clark. You're right. That is exactly right. That's kind of what I said before, but not about linebackers. So you're right about that, Mark. That's what's going to help the Cowboys get to the game the way they want it to, and it's going to be those linebackers. How do they stop there? Has the defensive line front? It's going to be a fun game. It really is. I think there's going to be a ton of intensity. The atmosphere. I just have this feeling it's going to be electric. The way the Jets won that game, and they're going to be fired up because this is a big moment. Everyone kind of thought, hey, we can lean on Aaron Rodgers. We're legit now because we have Aaron Rodgers, and they should have felt that way because he deserves that. But then all of a sudden, it went down like that. They were stunned. They couldn't even function. They figured out how to win. They're going to be flying into this game. And a lot of guys haven't even played at this stadium before. So for them to come in, they haven't played here since 2015. So none of the Jets players, I'm sure, unless they were on different teams. So it's the atmosphere for them is going to be great. For the Cowboys, it's going to be electric. Was last week a fluke? We're going to find out. So really, really, really exciting game. Let's go one more caller before we have to wrap up the show. Johnny in Richfield, South Carolina. I don't remember you calling before, so love having you on the show. Johnny, South Carolina.
Hey, man. How you doing, Nick? Woo Pig Suey.
Oh, really? We're going there.
Yep.
Yes,
sir.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, you can call all day long. What's up, man?
All right. Hey, I tell you what, as much as I loved what Dallas did the other night, everybody needs to pump the brakes. And, Dallas takes the Jets lightly at their own peril. And I don't think the team will. But, the fans need to understand that's a hell of a defense they've got there.
Yeah.
I'm not really upset about. I don't understand how people are upset about the offense. And I guess it's people who either A, never played the game or never coached it. But when you're playing in a monsoon like that,
yeah,
he did. Dak Prescott did a hell of a job just keeping the boat going in the right direction and not turning the ball over like Daniel Jones. It would have been real easy for that to happen. But, if he'd have had that, if he'd have had a night like Daniel Jones or like the kid from Buffalo,
right,
it'd be pasted all over every newspaper in America.
Yes, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
You win 40-0 and don't do anything wrong, and now something's wrong with the offense. I don't understand that.
You're right. You're right with that. I appreciate your call and your honesty there. That I agree. Oh, I agree with you. I just think we're nitpicking here. Now I'll say this though. The first drive of the game, they got down there, right? The first down at the 6. Dak throws it up there to Ferguson. It got kind of tipped around a little bit. Throw that interception on your first drive of the season into the end zone. And yeah, we're talking about that a lot, regardless of what happens in the game. So it wasn't almost an interception, but you're thrown into double coverage to Jake Ferguson, who hasn't proven that he could go and just beat single coverage all the time, much less double. Nothing against Jake Ferguson. I think he's going to be great, but forcing it to him down on the 1st and goal at the 6 is not the play I like to see there. So all I'm saying is there were a couple times you threw it in there and you kind of got lucky. And didn't get interception, so you gotta be careful there. But I thought Dak played a great game, considering the circumstances, considering everything involved, and this thing is only going to get better. I like what I saw on the offense, love what I see on the defense, love what I see on the special teams. If you if you can like one side and love the other two, you're going to win a lot of football games this year. It's going to be fun to watch. It's going to be fun to have on Cowboys Storyline. For Chris Beam and Nick Eatman, all you guys for calling and sending texts. We really appreciate it. We'll see you tomorrow on Cowboys Storyline. See ya.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!